Hi folks, BJ Waterfowler here. I'm going to change it up a little bit today from the fishing videos that I've been doing. We got into a discussion a little bit about building fires, and I got a request to make a video on how I actually build a flint and steel fire. It kind of surprised me because the request came from our friend Off Trail, who's a member here at the Survival Bunker, and that guy, as far as I'm concerned, is a master at building fires, so I can't believe he actually wants to see how I build a flint and steel fire. And the reason I say he's a master, because he can build a fire any kind of method you can think of. I mean, you take a guy that can take a cap gun and make a fire, that guy knows about building fires. But anyways, we're going to make a video here about how I build a flint and steel fire. But I'm going to take it one step further, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to build us some char cloth and a little mini fire kit. Now this fire kit, this little tin, I've been wanting to do this for a while. And so we're going to go ahead, we'll cheat a little bit because we're doing this in my front yard with my little barbecue grill out here. I've got some coals in it, and because I'm not out in the woods. So we'll just do it here in the front yard, then we'll move around the backyard and actually make a fire, hopefully. Now the kit is a tin, and ironically this is a Zippo. Hope you can see that on the camera. I got this. I got a Zippo lighter a couple years back for a Christmas present, and I thought the tin would be great to make a little mini kind of fire kit. Inside here, to make the char cloth with, I've taken an old washcloth, 100% cotton. You can make char cloth out of all different kinds of things. You can make it out of old blue jeans, denim, 100% cotton T-shirts work fine, sweatshirts work fine. I just seem to like washcloths. Now all we do is take this washcloth material and just cut it into little squares like this. And then we're going to take the washcloth material and we're going to just place it in here, pack it in here, but not real tightly, just kind of loosely so that it will burn evenly. And all we're wanting to do is, like the name says, char this cloth. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to seal it up. And then we're going to put a hole in here to let our gases escape, and but let the cloth inside burn. So let's move you over here. Let's get us a hole going in this, and let's put it over here in the charcoaler and get it set on fire. It shouldn't take just a little bit. I'll get this going here, and let's see what we got. Alright, all we're going to need to do is just take our knife, just a little hole like that. That might be a little big. Okay, now let's set her over here in these coals. Alright, now she's cooking. That's all you got to do. Now, let me move you up here close. As you can see, hopefully, you see the smoke that's coming out of our hole. Just keep an eye on that smoke that's coming out of that hole. That means our cloth is burning. If you start to get flame out of that hole, just take a stick like this and seal it off. Because you don't want to burn your cloth, you just want to char it. So as you can see, it's really heating up good. And if it catches on fire, we're just going to seal that off. Just there it goes. There it's flaming. Alright. Just kind of block that flame off. Best you can. There you go. Some of that flame you're seeing is actually the coating that's on the outside of the tin also. So it's just kind of burning off there too. Alright, we'll let that burn there for a little bit, and as soon as she's done, I'll show you where we're at, and then we'll see if we can't go build us a fire. And I'll when I come back to you, I'll tell you how to tell when. Alright folks, we've moved to the backyard. We've got our fire kit and our char cloth done, hopefully. And I've got an array of different tinder out here, and we'll go over that in just a second. But let's see how our char cloth came out. See, our box is looking pretty good as far as fire kit. And inside, we have got char cloth. Now, a lot of people will cut their char cloth into smaller pieces, and this is easily torn. You can tear it into whatever size you want. I like to have a bigger piece. It gives me a better chance to get this other stuff lighted. The bigger ember I have, the better chance I have with that. And I would rather do it once than mess with a whole bunch of little tiny pieces of this. I mean, it's just chopped up washcloth, so make a bunch of it. It's great stuff. Alright, the other thing about this is it's going to be, it looks like this little mini fire kit is going to work out great, because it's going to be perfect that it's going to fit my steel. Now, I bought this at a festival a few years back over in Fort Smith. They had like a rendezvous thing, and this guy was selling these. They make these out of files. Blacksmith kind of guys make those. And then I've taken that piece of flint that I showed you earlier, and I broke it down, and while my char cloth was cooling, to where it's going to fit, and I can fit several pieces of this neatly in here, and still have room to put all different kinds of my tinder. So now that we've got this all established, we've got our char cloth, we've got our flint, we've got our steel, let's go over some of this tinder. Let me move you down here, and I'll show you what's going on with that. Show you what I like to use, and it's real easy to do. Okay, what we've got here is a bird's nest. You've seen it in probably the other videos. Here's the way I make mine. Is I take some of this cedar bark. I just strip some cedar bark. I love to use cedar bark. We've got a lot of it around here. And the way I'll do it is I take it and just start shredding. Just shred it. Just shred pieces off of it. And you can even take it, pieces of it, shred some of it off, take it in your hand, and roll it in a ball. And just what you want to do is make those fibers real, real fine, like this. And then tear it apart, open it up. See how fine that's getting? That's what you want. You want it real fine. The finer this is, the quicker it will ignite from your ember. Now we're going to take this, we're going to put it in the bird's nest. The other thing that I love to use is this is fat wood. This is off of old pine stumps, and they're full of the rosin or the turpentine smelling sap from old pine stumps. I've taken this, and I've taken my knife, and I've shaved off a lot of real fine shavings that will ignite quickly. So if I can get my bird's nest to flame, I can add this. If I can get this to flame, then I move up to these smaller sticks, and these are also fat wood. Then we can just go ahead, we'll have a good flame going by then. We can start adding sticks like this. So next, let's move over here onto this little piece of log I got and see if we can't get an ember going with this char cloth. This would be a lot better to do at night, but you can see the sparks, but we'll try it here and see if we can't get something going. See if we can't do it pretty quick for you too. Now, one thing about this flint and steel, what you're going to want to do is you can see these very sharp edges, and they will cut you. That's what you want, is you want a sharp edge, and you want it to strike against your steel at a very sharp angle, like that. You're going to try and actually chop off little pieces of this steel with that very sharp edge. The sharper the edge here is, at a very sharp, acute angle to this, is going to make you sparks real quick. Let's see if I can get lucky and do this. Got it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me shade this a little bit. Yeah, you can see it, I think, hopefully. All right, let's move over here and put it in the bird's nest. Looking pretty good. Now, just add some of this to it. Watch how this fat wood goes up. This is amazing stuff. Can you guys see that? That looks great. We've got us a fire there. All right. Well, I would say that we were successful. Why don't you give me a grade off trail and critique me on my fire and steel. Next, I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do this bow and drill thing. But I'll get it. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate all the great responses. And if anybody's got any questions, like I said before, just get in touch with me. I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks a lot.